What's going on, guys? This is Mr. DeLORIAN here to welcome back to a brand new video, and today what I want to do is talk about Fear the Walking Dead Season 7, Episode 8. So telling my last week's episode with a bunch of huge and explosive things happening, especially the ending of the episode, with obviously Alicia being revealed to be returning to Fear the Walking Dead, her people ending up shooting a bunch of radiated walkers with a bunch of explosives inside of them, which obviously created this huge, gigantic blood radiated cloud of obviously guts and blood and everything that's now gonna have to cause them to have to fucking run like hell. And obviously Strand finally solidifying himself, or at least I do think this is what happened, is that he officially solidified himself as a villain, because now he 110% feels like Negan from The Walking Dead, how he completely splits people up. And I'll have a full video about Strand's transformation into a Negan, or into a Negan-like character later on this week, or maybe in the next coming week, since obviously this is the mid-season finale. This episode's coming up, episode 8, and obviously with it being a mid-season finale, some really big things are gonna happen in episode 8. So without further ado, let's hop right into talking about Fear the Walking Dead Season 7, episode 8, and the trailer we got with the episode. So first, telling by this trailer, we will be getting to learn what Alicia's been up to, and how she how life was in the bunker, and how she basically, we will basically learn about everything that's happened to her since the nuke went off, and since she was locked in Teddy's bunker ever since the season 6 finale. We'll learn about what she's been doing since that point at the end of season 6 all the way up until this point right now, how she basically found this entire new group and formed this entire new community, and basically just how everything happened. And telling by this trailer, we're gonna get some backstory into how Alicia and Will, obviously the character that Will was killed in season 7 episode 1 by Strand, and we did learn in that episode that he did know Alicia, and that he did kind of know a little bit about the mysterious and big PADRE that everyone's been talking about. So in this episode, we do get some clips in this trailer that we will basically learning about their backstory, how they met, how Will kind of liked Alicia, maybe Alicia maybe liked Will, but we will be learning about their life inside the bunker, and basically how they did end up escaping eventually with everyone, and I'm assuming how they formed this gigantic community and met everyone. And I wonder if Alicia will be learning about Will's death and how Strand did kill him, because that will create some huge tensions between Alicia and Strand, if not there already are. And also, as shown in the trailer, we will be getting to learn a lot more about PADRE and what essentially PADRE is, because it's been talked about a lot in season 7 so far as this gigantic huge safe haven, and it's also been questioned if in general it even exists. But telling about the trailer for this episode, we will be learning a huge amount about it, obviously since it also is a mid-season finale. Now the first we did hear of PADRE was inside the bunker, or Alicia's bunker, when basically Will and Strand did go to try to find Alicia inside the bunker and try to figure out where she did go, and they did find a piece of paper or a drawing, I think, or a piece of paper that did say PADRE on it. And obviously that entire bunker did seem kind of like a military or some underground militarized compound or bunker. And what's very interesting about this one shot in the trailer is it does say PADRE, or a classified file that says PADRE on it, and it does say secret and all these things like United States of America, solidifying that it possibly is a huge US United States of America government file. And obviously since this file is down inside of a government military huge power bunker, and the fact that it does say it's a classified document does make me think that this is what PADRE essentially is a huge military compound that is very safe from the dead. But I don't know, I kind of do really hope it is a lot more than that, just a military compound. I do hope there is much more to it, but it is very cool to learn know that we're gonna be able to learn 100% more about PADRE in this episode, and to see this document to get some more details on what PADRE exactly is. But make sure to comment down below what you guys do make of this file, and what so far you guys think PADRE is. And also, telling about this trailer, we might be learning also a little bit more about the tensions between Will and Alicia, because obviously in the episode 1 of Fear the Walking Dead season 7, Will did say that he did eventually split from Alicia, and in this trailer it does show, and I think Will, it might be someone different, but maybe Will and Alicia down inside a kind of tunnel, whatever, and then the tunnel collapses, like, you know, separating the two. So I do wonder if that's how they got separated. But also telling about this trailer, it does show that this episode will be kind of picking up a little bit from where we left off in the last episode, when basically Alicia's people stupidly, really stupidly, shoot a bunch of radiated walkers with explosives in their stomach, or just explosives around them in general. And obviously those explosions created a ton of, like, you know, gut, kind of blood and radiated clouds that obviously are starting to blow towards Alicia's community, Morgan, Alicia, Dwight, Sherry, and all of them, and the entire community in general, which is putting them at huge risks. And Alicia does say in this, like, you know, trailer, saying everyone run mass up now, which obviously, because that's, like, you know, this entire, like, you know, thing that happened with, like, you know, the blood, dust, and, like, you know, guts radiated cloud, is that it obviously does carry a huge amount of radiation, since obviously the walkers were probably really close to the blast enough to get, like, you know, explosives inside of them. And in the last episode, in, like, in the ending, when Morgan said run, our characters will have to fucking book it. And what's very interesting in this trailer is we do hear Dwight, I do think it is Dwight, saying what I do believe is 100 walkers over the ridge or bridge or something like that, but it does 100% sound like he does say 100 walkers, which obviously is a fuck ton of walkers. And we do get to see Dwight and Sherry, or I do believe is Dwight and Sherry, it definitely is Dwight, like, you know, leading a bunch of walkers somewhere on horseback. So I do wonder if while they're running, they're gonna run into a bunch of walkers, or if the walkers are gonna start invading the camp as, like, you know, that entire radiation, blood, gut, dust, cloud thing is happening, and they're all starting to run for their lives, which would be very interesting. Or unless they just come up with, like, you know, upon this, like, you know, huge horde of walkers, and maybe they try to use it to take down Strand or someone else possibly. There's also a scene in this trailer, we do basically get a kind of down moment, where I'm assuming this is after Dwight, Sherry, Alicia, Morgan, everyone else all got away from that entire radiation, blood, dust, cloud, storm, or whatever. Basically, they're all in the woods, kind of still in the radiated zone, kind of obviously away from their, like, you know, old community that was destroyed by obviously, like, you know, the radiation. And Alicia does finally explain, saying that there is a reason that Dwight and Sherry went to go out and find Morgan, that she wanted Morgan to come back with them to find her and just come back to the community in general, which we do not learn in this specific trailer what that entire reason is on why Alicia did want Morgan to come back and help her, or what even he's gonna help her with in general. But Dwight does say in the exact same scene, and what I do believe is in the exact same scene, saying that this better work, which I'm assuming Alicia's gonna lay down a strict plan, or a plan of what she does plan on doing with, like, you know, Morgan and all of them. And obviously this plan is, I'm assuming, gonna be very, very risky, since obviously Dwight does say this better work, insinuating that obviously if it doesn't, there could be some massive consequences. But near the ending of this trailer, we do get to learn that Strand will be a part of this episode, him and his tower community with a bunch of his soldiers that will be leaving the tower to eventually go out, and I'm assuming they will run into Alicia, Strand, or Alicia, Morgan, Sherry, and Dwight, and there will be a gigantic firefight between the two in our first big, or not even really big, but our first battle between the two groups, which obviously I knew was going to happen eventually, that obviously Strand and his group and Morgan and Alicia and all of them would butt heads eventually, and there would be a firefight with obviously lots of guns, bullets, and possible deaths, because we do see what I do believe is a bunch of Morgan or Strand's tower men, or tower, like, you know, army or people shooting at what I do believe is, like, you know, some of Alicia's people, or they could be firing at the Stalkers. This might not even be Morgan or, like, you know, Alicia's people, but there's definitely gonna be a firefight in this episode. And like I said, Alicia does have a plan that she does want Morgan, Dwight, and Sherry to help with, and obviously that could be, like, you know, targeting Strand and his people. I don't know, but in the final shot of this trailer, we do get to see Strand standing on this big kind of, like, you know, rock staring down at someone, which obviously could be Morgan and Alicia, or maybe someone else, or maybe it's them after they evacuate the fight and everything, after, like, you know, Morgan and Alicia and all of them evacuate the fight, and then Strand looks over seeing that's them, and then that's what will be, like, you know, kind of declaring war, kind of, I guess you could say, against, like, you know, both their peoples and all their groups, which will be very interesting and a really good way to kind of end off, like, you know, part 1 or the first half of season 7, is kind of, like, you know, saying next, when this, like, you know, restarts back up, like, you know, whenever it does, there will be a huge, like, you know, battle, huge amounts of conflict to obviously, like, you know, settle, and huge scores to settle. But that was kind of all I had to say about the trailer, and all I had to really talk about for season 7 of, like, you know, season 7 episode 8 of Fear the Walking Dead. Make sure to leave your thoughts down below. If there is anything that I didn't miss in the trailer, anything that you guys did see that I didn't see, make sure to comment it down below, so we can all have a big discussion on episode 8 and everything. So I'm very, very excited for this episode, since obviously, like I said, it is a mid-season finale. Lots of things will be happening, and it does telling by this trailer, a lot of big things will happen, such as obviously the backstory between Alicia and Will, like, you know, showing Alicia's life from obviously the season 6 finale all the way to now and everything, showing how she got out of the bunker, just bunker life in general, and meeting all the people and Will in general. Obviously them, like, you know, running from the big gut, blood, and dust and radiation storm will be very interesting, and obviously maybe a huge walker horde, and just just obviously in general seeing, like, you know, Morgan and Alicia obviously back together again, and all of them back together again, like, you know, with a big plan. And last but not least and everything, obviously seeing Strand battle it out with possibly Alicia and Morgan and, like, you know, Sherry and Dwight and all their groups, or possibly the, like, you know, Stalkers, or maybe another group in general. But seeing a big battle will be obviously really cool in general. But like I said, that was all I had to talk about for the trailer and everything that I want to talk about for Fear the Walking Dead Season 7 Episode 8. Make sure to comment down below if there was anything, like I said, that I did miss, or what you guys are most excited to see, or just in general. Make sure to comment down below so we can all have a discussion. So yeah, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more of the latest in the Walking Dead universe, since I do want to get back into the Walking Dead universe just a little bit more and everything, since obviously the Walking Dead World Beyond is ending pretty soon, actually, or even next week. Actually, practically this week it's ending, and obviously Fear the Walking Dead is going into hibernation with its, like, you know, mid-season finale happening this week also. And I do want to get back into that more and everything, since honestly after episode 2 of Fear the Walking Dead, the show never got bad, but I kind of was like, you know, okay, it's just kind of going through the motions. There isn't really anything big happening, so I'll kind of hold off till the mid-season finale or something really big happens. And obviously right now something big is really happening. I do want to get back into it. So yeah, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more latest in the Walking Dead universe, since obviously I want to get back into that and everything more, just such as like, you know, breakdowns, explain videos, theories, reviews, and all of that and more. And we are getting some kind of nods to the Rick Grimes movies, or some, like, you know, very interesting information or a post-credit scene in the Walking Dead World Beyond Season 2 finale. So make sure to stick around for stuff like that, obviously. And yeah, I will see you guys all later. Peace out, my amigos, and peace out.